The word today is poppy. We can either say poppy means something that's related to pop, or we can talk about the flower. We can even do both if I talk fast enough, but I can't talk fast enough, so we're only going to talk about one of them. How do you look up when the first time a word was used, right? Answer, you can try to use Google Ngram Viewer and type something like pop music in, and Google will use what I think is an image detection tool to scan for your word in the language you selected across all of their books. You can then go into Google Books and you can see what exactly each point in the graph, what it's in reference to. Sometimes it's a little weird, right? You can see this blip here in the 1800s. It starts off with a ballads book from 1810 and an Italian textbook from 1816. Looks like they just abbreviated popular music with a period there, which is part of the course, right? But there has to be so much more before 1800, though. I'm really not sure what tool I'd use to do this. If you've got an idea, let me know. Anyways, so the word pop music seems to have taken off around the 1940s via our Ngram view. And we can definitely assume someone started using that adjective to make poppy, the noun, sound right? How does that work, by the way? How does a noun turn into an adjective? Does this thing where we put a Y in front of a word to make a new word already have a name? Answer, yes. It's called derivational morphemes. Where morphemes are not words themselves, but combine into words, and derivational is just derive, or in this case, these morphemes are used to derive new words. A good example is dirt can be used with an affix Y to turn into dirty. Dr. Bolanle Arakoyo, I probably messed that way up, helped me out with this one by publishing a morphology lecture in 2020. I'll link this in the description. You can see here she's decidedly not a big shot fat cat in colonial college. I just like saying those words in order. Anyways, so there's a bunch of derivational morphemes. She specifically calls out the derivation of adjectives from nouns in the exercises portion, where she talks about that dirty, right, in the 7th lecture. There's a bunch of rules for it that native speakers pick up on intuitively, like you can derive undo from do and using the prefix un, but you can't do that with computer, right? Uncomputer is not a word, right? It's because of the rules of derivational morphemes that native speakers have picked up on intuitively, right? English is a system. This is the ALIC textbook that talks about this, right? Link again in the description, and they say here, right? If we add the prefix un to it, we will realize it does not sound right. Are using our notions of acceptability. If you're a native English speaker, there are these rules, right? You know that big blue dragon sounds right, but blue big dragon doesn't sound as right. Why? I wonder why that is. Something to look up. Right? I hope you got the Wordle in 3. And I'll catch you tomorrow.